The first set of recap questions is on proportion. A magnet is at a distance d from a metal object. The force F exerted by the magnet on the metal object is inversely proportional to the square of the distance d. The force F is inversely proportional to the square of the distance d. So we write, if F is inversely proportional to the square of the distance, then it is proportional to 1 over the square of the distance. So the fact that this is inverse proportion means we have 1 over d squared. So get rid of this proportional sign by making it into an equation where we have a constant k on the top of the fraction. So our equation is f is equal to k over d squared, but we need to figure out the value of our constant by plugging in d and f. So when f is 8, d is 5. So 8 is equal to k over 5 squared. 8 is equal to k divided by 25. K therefore is 200. Now it's asking us to express f in terms of d, so f is equal to k over d squared, which is 200 over d squared. Explain what happens to f when d is doubled. The best thing to do is just pick two values of d, where the second one is twice the value of the first one. So let's say, well, what happens when d is 5, and then work out what happens when d is double that, 10. So 200 over, say, 5 squared, and compare that to 200 over 10 squared. See what your values are. These are values of f, and see what happens to f whenever we have double the value of d. So in this case we get 8, and whenever we double the value of d we end up with 2. So f has gone from 8 to 2, so what has happened? F has been multiplied by a factor of a quarter, or divided by 4. Second question is also an inversely proportional question. So because I see inverse, that's our M8. Y varies inversely as the square of x. So the square of x. Y is inversely proportional to the square of x. So we write y is proportional to 1 over the square of x. And then rewrite that as an equation, this time with k on the top, and plug in our y and our x that are given here and here. So using this formula, plug in our y, 6.75 is equal to k over 6 squared. K therefore is 6.75 multiplied by 6 squared, which is 243. Then we plug our k value into this equation. So y is equal to 243 over x squared. We're going to use this to answer the next question. Find the value of y whenever x is 1/3. So y is equal to 243 divided by 1/3 squared. And that is 2187. Question 3. The resistance to motion of a car is proportional to the square of the speed of the car. So this is not inverse or indirect proportion, it's direct proportion. So we're going to call the resistance, give it a value, give it a letter rather, let's call it R, let's call speed S. So the resistance to the motion of a car is proportional to the square of the speed. R is proportional to the square of the speed. So therefore R is equal to K, some constant, multiplied by the speed squared. So we have to figure out what this K is by plugging in our value for R and S here. So R is 4,000 whenever S is 20. So to work out K, it's 4,000 divided by 20 squared, which is 4,000 divided by 400. So K is 10. So we're going to rewrite this equation with our value of K. R is equal to 10 times S squared. And the actual final part of the question, what will the resistance be at a speed of 40 meters per second? Our resistance is going to be 10 multiplied by 40 squared. So our resistance to motion is 16,000 newtons. Next question, question 4. R is inversely proportional. This is your M8. to the square of t. So if r is inversely proportional to the square of t, you write r is proportional to 1 over the square of t. Plug in your values, rewrite it with a k constant on the top of the fraction, and then plug in your values to work out k. So r is 600 whenever t is 45, and you have to square it. So then the value of k is 600 multiplied by 45 squared. So k is 1215000, and we'll plug that back into our equation. R is equal to 1215000 over t squared, and that's our answer. Hence find the value of r whenever t is 900. So we're plugging this into our equation. R is equal to 1215000 over 900 squared. So our value for r is 1.5, or 3 over 2.